from the visual of it as a dad, I really love the fact. I mean, I tell people all the time, Tyler never threw hard enough to be one of those guys that really garnered a lot of attention, but he could pitch and he was a multi sport athlete. Now, is that the right way or the right method? All I know is, and this is really the main point that I think you're making, is the kids only have one childhood, and we don't really need to script or predetermine, a destination. Allow them to, and you nailed it, allow them to fail, allow them to fall. They figure things out. They're able to put pieces together. But talk a little bit about, Nolan and you guys are playing catch. You're not chasing numbers. You mentioned pitch shape, which I would love for you to discuss because that's the vernacular that's kind of out there all over social media: shaping, pitching, tunneling, etc. Talk a little bit about that with regard to you and Nolan talking about pitch shape as opposed to pitch velocity.
Yeah, yeah. So during COVID, I was very fortunate from that time because he, was 10 years old. He was 11 actually at that time, turning 11. So, he wanted to practice and train every day and just play baseball. So we had an opportunity to get to the field just about every day. Now I didn't make him go. I just said, "Hey, do you want to go? Do you want to go? But if we go, we're gonna work on things. It's not gonna be just a father son catch in the backyard. We're just we'll work at the game. We'll have fun. We'll take some batting practice, and him and his buddy and another dad and I just went to the field just about every day. But I remember talking to Sonny Gray and Kyle Wright, who I thought spun breaking balls really well. And both of them had remained really healthy at that time, and posted throughout their entire career on the mound. So I asked them when they learned to spin the ball, and both of them told me, at a young age, about 10 or 11. But, Kyle Wright said, my dad taught me how to spin it correctly. And I said, hmm. So I just, at that time frame, I said, Nolan, I'm going to teach you a little bit of how to spin the breaking ball and feel for the change. But when we enter a game, here in the next month and a half, when it gets back going, we're not going to go out and throw, 40 curveballs inside that game. I just want you to realize how the ball spins out of your hands. So I taught him correctly how to spin the breaking ball at a young age rather than trying to manipulate and make all these shapes through, poor arm action and stuff like that. So um, that was really phase one. But the big message was we're also going to go out and pitch with our fastball and get the ball in the zone. We'll use the secondary stuff at 11 and 12, in optimal times. So that was step one. But just continuing to just let him naturally feel it through an old progress of, yeah, that matches what my eyes are seeing, and letting him understand like how the ball comes out of his fingers rather than, hey, torque it this way or do something this way. It's like, hey, see if you can make that pitch go a little bit more down. See if you can make that pitch go a little bit more, to your right, or sweep it away from the lefty a little bit if you want, rather than, hey, get your fingers on top of that thing, rip that thing down. Because I don't think young kids understand that stuff personally. I think and then what they do is they, when you give them an external cue like that, they start to mess with their grips a little bit and they start to feel like how it naturally comes out. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes catch. You got to
Right.
play catch, you
Right.
got to play catch.
Right.
And you don't always have to be on the mound to feel these things. And you don't always have to be throwing them at max intent. And it just created, a good feel for the ball. And then last year, in his 14 year after middle school, I saw him pitch once, and I told him, like, your changeup needs to really develop. Your fastball's good. You spin it well. You got command of it, but you really need to get your changeup going. And so I want you to play with your grips. But the biggest thing is you need to understand how to stay on it. And you did a great job with Tyler teaching him a changeup. So once they get that feel of staying on it, then they start to move the seams around a little bit, and they start to see, hey, well, that thing sunk a little more, or that faded a little more. So, but it's just through a natural process of playing catch. He's never been on TrackMan, he's never been on Rapsodo or anything along those lines where it's like, oh, you're getting this kind of movement, and that type of deal. So, just try to steer him away from that stuff right now because I think understanding his skill and feel is the most important.
I try to tell parents all the time,